to your flagship program on public relations, Your Image. It was an interesting program last week, and the panelists were very good in their submissions. I still have with me Pastor Dare Folarin, former Chief Press Secretary to the Government of Ogun State, a veteran public relations practitioner, and also journalist. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And to our amazing, a chartered accountant, a tax expert, how do I describe it? Okay, the current chairman of the Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, Mrs. Gladys Olasenbo Odugbeni.
Madam, thank you very much for having me again.
It's a pleasure. We thank you for those qualities you displayed last week.
Thank you, sir.
I hope we are going to enjoy this with you.
I believe so, sir.
If you're kind, yeah, my dynamic media consultant to the governor of Ogun State. And you are showing the stuff of a PR professional. You're welcome.
It's my pleasure to be here once again.
Thank you very much for being part of this program.
Thank you.
Well, we are still discussing the role of professionals in 2023 and beyond. And this time around, we really want to look at what should be in place in 2023. Talking about the qualities of leadership that we want, talking about how we must govern the citizens. Pastor Dare Folarin, so what is your take? What do you envision for us in 2023? Talking about who and who with what qualities that are desirable.
My vision for 2023 and beyond is that we should have leaders who are inspirational. First, we shouldn't allow people who are saying they have asked me to run. No, we don't want people who will say they've asked him to run. We want people who will be interested in serving. You know, don't let us have reluctant politicians. Let's have people who want to serve and want to make a difference in our lives. You know, for close to over 60-something years now of nationhood, we need to have leaders who will want to make a difference. We have problems in this country right now. We have banditry, we have insecurity, so leaders, anybody who is coming in 2023 must be ready to, hold the steering and govern well. Because if you don't like the heat, don't come near the kitchen. So my own take is that people who are reluctant, people are saying, some people are asking me to do, they should go and sit down. We don't want people who will be reluctant. We want people who will be ready, roll up their sleeves, and serve.
Thank you very much. Madam, last week you were explaining on the issues of accountability, transparency, and openness. Can you conclude?
Yeah, I was saying that give it to the Ogun State governor, the current governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun. He's been visionary enough to put the right pegs in the right hole. But I was saying that it is beyond that.
Looking at Nigeria in a larger scope.
We need people who will, let me start from the quality of the leader that we want. Pastor Dare said somebody who is inspirational. When you provide inspiration, you allow everybody to come on board and to walk the way they should. There should be no inhibitions whatsoever. This is not saying that everybody goes haywire, one is pulling this way, the other is pulling that way. No. But we are working together. We have a common goal. And we bring in our technical know-how to the table and see how, in spite of our different backgrounds, we can pull together to achieve the goal. That's the kind of person we want. Somebody who will be open enough, accountable to the people.
Thank you very much, Madam. Akimbodi. Well, there is this raging issue, a competitive edge on the issue of representation and meritocracy. Looking into 2023 and beyond, how do you want to balance this?
Well, it's a democratic process, and anybody that would emerge will have to run through the mill of electoral process. The sad part of all of this thing is that either you are a core professional, either you are a semi-educated individual, if the electorate decides that you are the one they want, we can't change it. That is why it is important And I'm also challenging Madam that professional bodies should see themselves as critical stakeholders in national development. Beyond our area of core competence, beyond being called to work for principals, it is important for us to also determine those who govern and lead us in this country. That is the only way and the only recipe for development in this country. And I will tell you why. Everybody has their own vision, irrespective of their professional calling. But a well-trained professional understands the needs of the people and how to work within the stipulated rules to bring about development. And if you have them in the minority, they can do nothing. You sit in council at the state level and they bring issues, and you know that such issue does not necessarily mean development. They will vote in council. You are in the minority. You can't have anything to do. At the end of the day, your professional calling, your expertise, your competence, your capacity will amount to nothing. So it's important that all of us, irrespective of our professional calling, should pull ourselves together, define exactly what we want to do in 2023, and ensure that a capable, intelligent, visionary, focused, and committed leader emerges to run this country.
Thank you very much, Fekaudi. Something is really charging my mind, and that takes me to Madam, the professional in this house. Even though you two you call yourself, but you are a mixture of professionals and politicians. Well, she is a core practitioner, a core professional. Madam, how do you justify and educate that corporate failure is not audit failure?
Thank you, sir. Well, let me start with audits.
Okay. If that's the angle you want to start.
Yeah, let me start from
He's
there.
an auditor, so
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But you need to know what the auditor does.
Okay.
Everybody believes that once you express an opinion on a financial statement, it means everything is in order. But the audit we are talking about is audit of what had been done.
Okay. Which does not necessarily mean
The current issue. Even though you bring in some issues that arise after the audit, but that is not the core audit. The core audit of what happened in the last 1 year, or more than a year, maybe 18 months or so. So when you are expressing an opinion, you are expressing an opinion based on what you saw when you were there. It is the responsibility of the directors of that organization to give you their statements, their financial reports, their financial statements. You check with whatever documentations they provide, and you say, well, from what I've seen, these figures tally with these documentations.
So how do we now explain
Now for corporate, you know that in corporate governance, you are talking of the people who make the policies in the organization,
Right.
the policy makers.
Right.
You are not auditing their policies. You may advise in your management letter to them that I think this policy or that policy would be counterproductive, or it would have this effect. It is left to the directors who see to the day-to-day running of the organization to take it or leave it. When you come the following year, as long as it does not constitute misrepresentation of facts, the account is still true and fair. As long as the standards, financial standards, regulations are still being followed, it does not constitute any problem. But in your report or in your management letter, it is clearly stated this and this and this were observed, and this and this are our recommendations.
Well,
so the organization takes it from there.
I'm going to push it to Pastor Dari Folani. For me, if an entity fails, it means, or do we agree that public relations has failed?
No.
Let me ask you that question first. So I'll give you a further question.
Okay. PR cannot fail, because PR is you analyze the circumstances and you predict the consequences. So when you predict and you give these are my readings. Please, let's watch this area, let's watch this area. Is the buck stops at the table of your principal. If he takes the advice, he shines. There will be proactive actions. He takes proactive measures so that there will not be problem. But it's a learning curve. At times they may not take your advice. It will boomerang, and then they learn. Relevant lessons have been learned. It's good to learn lessons. So even what you call failure is a learning curve. And because it is when who is your teacher. So you need experience, when they get there, and at times, occasional slip-ups, you learn. Then you won't do it again.
Akibodi, this is a challenge to us, PR practitioners. I really want us to dig deep into this. Our responsibility as a PR professional is to begin to scan the environment, to diagnose weak areas, educate, counsel, and then predict, according to Pastor Dari Folani, the future consequences. What lesson do we learn from a failed corporate entity?
I would go back to my initial submission. Unfortunately, we're in a climate where core professionals are not extremely valued based on relevant expertise and professional advice. And the sad part of it is that it is a collective failure when you're in government, irrespective of the undercurrent effort you as a professional have made in predicting the consequences of policies and actions of administrations.
Let me ask you this question. In justifying your professional bit, if we have a change of battle and your job has to be retained, so how will you prove to the new principal that you have done your bit in a failed regime?
Well, like I said, this will only basically apply if you work in a corporate environment. But if you work in a democratic process, the first allegiance is to the person in power. He has his vision. You have to tailor your professional competence along with the vision of your principal, and of course, the manifesto of his party. This is not run in isolation.
So that takes us to the fact that corporate entity is different from
completely different. Completely different.
So in that case, will you say that public relations is pivotal in public organizations compared to the corporate organizations?
It is very necessary. PR is the oxygen that drives the government, or drives any organization, be it private or public, because you also have to manage your own image. You are your own chief image maker. So you want to present your best, image to people at all times. So PR undergirds everything. So in running the thing, make sure that you do what the people want, and in democracy, it's the people, it's not you. It's not you per se, it's to please the people, So let's have people who, the government should be people-oriented. You see that what will bring joy to the greatest number of people is what politicians should be doing,
I don't want to be hard on the PR people. I will have said that the best thing, if you have a failed corporate entity, is for the PR man to resign.
It's a possibility.
It is prerogative.
Because
you will weigh his options.
I am justifying that because if we don't take to that standard, it then means that our position is not justified. We have situations where you enlighten, you educate, you counsel, and it's not taken. Then you do away with that.
It's debatable. It's debatable. But for the purpose of this conversation, I think we'll have to understand the fact that democracy does not run the way you're saying it. It's about the people.
We are having a blend of corporate entity.
I agree
and
with you.
governance.
Let me also explain this thing to you.
Okay.
If you understand the psyche of your principal as a PR person, your job description goes beyond the ethics of your profession. It's for you to show that you are different, that you understand the job. So at every opportunity, you display unequal competence and capacity, and people will distinguish you as a thoroughbred professional in that government, even if there are challenges in that government.
My submission on this is that, Madam, I'm still coming. I'm tasking the PR professionals now. My conclusion is that PR target is obvious in corporate entities than in public sector-based organizations.
I agree with you.
So, Madam, concluding on the submissions, which you have just, on the discussion which you have just arrived at, what value orientation do you suggest? One, for both entities, corporate and governance. For citizens. Okay, let's have that first.
Well, the value orientation I would expect is that everybody should get more interested in having a good environment. If the nation is good, it is good for all of us. So we should all be interested, professionals, politicians, everyone, and we should seek to do it right. If I do it right in my little corner, he does it right in his corner, and you are doing it right in your corner, at the end of the day, it's for the benefit of the whole nation. And it puts us out there in the Committee of Nations. No, everything changes for us. So I would say that we need to start getting more interested and make a commitment to discipline and integrity.
Yeah,
Those
thank
are
you
key
very
things.
much. Thank you very much, Madam.
I'd like to add for the citizens. The citizens should stop collecting pittance, from politicians. Think of make, money, and all the rest. What is at stake is more than tokenism. What is at stake is your life, is the future of your children, is the future of everybody. So let us stop collecting. Let's put our politicians on their toes. Let's challenge them. Let's ask them critical questions. Let's going forward. 2023 is coming. Let's challenge them. Let's ask them. Those who have not performed, let's show them that they have not performed, and those who have performed, let's reward them. That's my own plea. Rather than taking peanuts from
To
them.
the media, what's your advice?
Well, first is to understand that we do not have any other nation except this country. As either you're a professional, either you are not educated, what's important is that we have a society that caters for all, irrespective of class or status. And what we should do as professionals is to continue in the advocacy. And like Madam said, whatever we do should be based on integrity, discipline, vision, focus. At the end of the day, Nigeria will be better for it.
Yes, I still want you. What sort of advocacy do we have for the media?
Well, it's to ensure that proper projection of what governance is all about, proper projection of the needs of the people, proper evaluation of performance based on facts. Because the tragedy is that media is not for the highest bidder. And the sad part is that you find even professionals asking for money to be able to project what exactly should be the benefits of the people. And the question is, why are we media professionals? So I think it's because of the poverty that is endemic in the nation, as has affected the psyche of even media professionals. So we should sit back and do a media discourse and address ourselves. Like, what is important is the overall interest of the nation beyond pecuniary benefits.
That goes to the citizens and all of us, but even the civil society organizations, the people in the private sector, the community people, and all other stakeholders in the nation. Well, thank you so much. It's your image, and we had the opportunity of having great submissions and a very interesting discourse that we're having. on the role of professionals in governance in 2023 and beyond. We can't have it better. And of course, I want to thank Pastor Dare Folari.
Thanks for having me.
You've been good always. Thank you for your submissions.
Thank you.
Mr. Dubedi,
Thank you so much. I'm
Well-
honored being here.
it's nice having you. And we are looking forward to the Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria shaping
And getting involved.
No,
God
well,
help
politics.
us.
they are involved, but when they get the note from government, they can do better.
We'll talk about that later.
Thank you very much. Kayode Akibodi, it's nice having you around.
Same here.
We've been having a robust engagement, and we look forward to having you once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The viewers at home, we appreciate you being with us. Support us by advertising and sponsoring this program. It is your image and your publications flashy program in Nigeria, and of course, we have found out that in Africa, it is still the best. In fact, it's the only public relations program that we are having. Thank you so much for being part of us. See you next week. Thank you.